I'm happy to address any questions or even further follow up a draft with materials for the board if desired. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Renteria, and thank you for your report, and for your recommendations. I think the leadership of our district is very much thinking along those same lines in terms of getting the district involved and these policies that you're referring to. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Definitely meet you. Thank you very much, Mr. Rodriguez. And later during my comments, I'm going to make reference to Mr. Rankins. So thank you for bringing his name up. Thank you for your report. That brings us to item 11.0, excuse me, no, that brings us to item 10.01, our board reports. And so I'll just open it up to my colleagues. I'll open the floor up. Who would like to give a report tonight? Who would like to go first? The floor is open.
Sure, I'll go first.
Sure, go ahead, Mr. Mendez, you have the floor.
So I hope you can hear me well. So I'm sorry I missed last month's meeting. I experienced a health crisis that I had to get admitted to the hospital. And on the day of the board meeting, I went under an emergency procedure. And I'm under recovery for the next, or for 8 weeks of recovery, which will be over December 1st. And so I'm sorry I missed that. It is the Hogote Anhoa. It is Native American Heritage Month. Although there was no resolution on the agenda, I'd like to recognize that. Only in recent times that I feel comfortable to share my heritage with you. I am Apache Yaqui and member of the Water Clan on my grandfather's father's side. I was very happy to share that with you. And I'm very grateful for this board to have passed the land acknowledgement statement that I authored, and we created a Native American Advisory Council. And on that council was Mr. Michael Whitehorse from Tonga Gabrielinos. We had Mr. Victor Chavez, who is Dene Navajo, and of course, Mr. Roy De La Rosa, Apache Yaqui, just like I am. Mr. Roy De La Rosa, one of my mentors and spiritual advisors, passed away over 4 or 5 weeks ago. Very sad for that. Mr. De La Rosa stood in this room, in this boardroom, and sat through a very long marathon meeting just to see that our land acknowledgement was going to pass. So I'd like to recognize him. I'm very appreciative of what the board did for that. And yes, my intent is to step down from the board in December. It's been a privilege to serve the people of South Whittier, the working poor, the working class, and it's been a pleasure to be an advocate for struggling students in Whittier Union, for those that are overlooked and underserved, especially struggling students. There's been quite a few accomplishments that I'm proud of. Some of those being working on the expulsion rate is, after 5 months of basically spilling my heart out at the board and sometimes getting a little emotional, that our students were worth saving. And so I'm very proud of this board to have supported that, and to see now that our administration who felt that it was a worthy cause to have turned it around, and now we provide direct counseling along with mental health and academic counseling there at Whittier Union. One of the observations I made early on in my early term is how the lowest paid people at Whittier Union had to pay for their health care. And I learned this through sitting down and talking to people at the various luncheons, etc., that they were having to fork out $200-300 a month to pay for the health care of their families. And again, another point that I'm very proud that this board, through advocacy, took it on to extend free health care to the lowest paid of our staff. That includes food service workers, bus drivers, and teachers' assistants, is now they have the opportunity to get that free health care. Board policy, universal adoption. I remember with going through the CSBA with the superintendent to seek out CSB policy services and being able to get information from them, come back, and to start this whole idea of a universal adoption. I'm very proud of that. I know one of the kind of oddball policies that I occasionally think of was the need for feminine hygiene products to be available in different resources at various campuses. I'm very proud of that particular policy. Of course, the land acknowledgement. The student visits were wonderful. I encourage every board member to do that. For the year that I was president, I went twice to each student government. There's nothing like talking to young people who are engaged in school, and to see that the future of our community and of our country is in good hands, is what I've learned through those experiences. But there wasn't always positive. Some problems do pop up, and one of those problems we saw was the RSO officer who called one of our students a wetback and told them to go back to Mexico. I was very disheartened to see that. And upon seeing that RSO officer still at Cal High, we were able to, Mr. Lopez and I, to call the supervisor's office to get that person removed immediately. So I'm very proud of that action. 9310, that's on the agenda. I think it's an amazing thing that this district can do to make the governance process inclusive for all, so that any policy that affects students will be considered in that policy. Any policy that concerns teachers is that they will be involved. Any policy concerning staff CCA members, that they will be involved. And Mr. Renteria mentioned AI policy, and this policy that's on the agenda tonight will ensure that those that would be affected by AI policy will sit down with the administration to go over those proposed policies with you. So I'm very glad, happy to that. So again, I'm gonna be, I am. I serve 2.5 million people where I'm at now, Central Basin, and that's a very big calling to ensure that our water quality is safe and secure. And so I have no resentment. I loved my experience at Whittier Union, and so next month I'll be able to say a little more about my final words. My disposition is unique. Is that I think I've been occasionally, if not more often, in opposition to some practices that I was willing to speak out about. So I'm very proud. Please excuse me for that last month as I went through that health crisis. So thank you very much. Looking forward to the rest of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for your report, Mr. Mendez. Ms. Conchola, would you like to go next?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I don't have a lot to report. As you know, I'm technically on medical leave until December the 15th. I just didn't want to miss our meeting. Some of you might know already that I'm currently battling breast cancer. And the reason that I made it public, I did share it on social media, is because I wanted to really utilize it as an opportunity to remind especially the women, our teachers, principals, counselors, parents, to make sure that they get their annual exams and that they schedule them, because if it hadn't been for that, it would have been much worse than what I'm dealing with right now. I only had a mastectomy 2 weeks ago, And I was diagnosed on September the 12th. And since then, it was just a whirlwind, getting prepared for the mastectomy, having the mastectomy, and currently I'm in recovery. And I am so grateful for the outpour of love in so many ways, from our community, from CSCA. I received some flowers, and the Certain Puente team sent me some flowers. The cabinet was, so kind and generous, and my colleagues on the board with daily prayers and prayer chains and just all of that loving care really has made a big difference. And I just want to say that I don't take it for granted. I've never taken life for granted, but I was really harshly reminded of how important our health is and how important life is, and the fact that we need to do what we can on a daily basis, what we've given the beautiful gift of life. And so I just wanted to thank everybody that has taken the time to send me, messages, or have stopped by with caldito de pollo, or, I'm just super grateful. Also, Mr. Renteria, I'm equally concerned in terms of the community rapes that are still happening. There's still a big fear factor, not just with our students, but with our general community. And one thing that I'm very proud of that as a board we did, and it was unanimous, where we're all standing on the same thought, and that we support our students, that we support all of our students, and that we built a really strong policy to make sure that our students are protected in their school sites. So that is definitely one of the areas that, as a united front, we have stood very strongly on, and I'm very proud of that. So we'll continue to be there for all of our students. Again, I'm not gonna, share anymore, but I just wanted to say, from the bottom of my heart, I have the greatest gratitude from my Whittier Union Familia community, and I'm very grateful that, that God has given me all the support in this journey. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Conchola, for your presence and your report.
Who would like to go next?
Mr. Lopez, please, you have the floor.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And to both Trustee Mendez and Trustee Conchola, I'm feeling your pain, so get better soon. We need you here at the dais. So, I understand we have a full agenda, Mr. Chair, therefore I'll keep my report within 1 minute. In the past month, I did attend 3 district-related events. One was Dia de los Muertos at La Serna High School. I did catch 2 quarters of the Pioneer football playoff game, and I did attend an away playoff game for the first time of the La Serna flag football team. So, on a different note, as your representative to the Tri-Cities ROP board, I am concerned about the future of the adult educational programs being offered. The reason I say this is because we received a report that the Rio Hondo Regional Adult Education Consortium, which is Tri-Cities, is part of, voted to tag Tri-Cities ROP as an ineffective member of the consortium, based on significant declining results of their adult education program for 2 consecutive years. At the Tri-Cities board meeting recently, the board directed superintendent to prepare a presentation on the future participation with the consortium, including but not limited to an exit plan. Once I get more information, I'll be happy to share with you all. And please note, Trustee Rodriguez Moisa and Mr. Chamorro sit on the board as well. And then, thank you, Mr. Chair, for your plan to recognize Mr. Eakins for his contributions to the district. Chair, that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez, for your report. Ms. Rodriguez Moisa, do you have a report?
Very briefly, Mr. Mendez, I was not aware that you had a medical scare, so my best wishes for a speedy recovery. I was aware of Ms. Conchola and I had spoken about her situation, so I have sent her my best wishes. So I do hope that you do have a very positive recovery. In terms of my activities over the last few weeks, I had an opportunity to go to Cal High, visit their ROP programs with one of the fellow board members. I did attend the ROP meeting where we were advised, as Mr. Lopez has indicated, about some concerning findings. I think that I'll be making a request at the end of the meeting for future topics to discuss the future of the ROP, Tri-Cities ROP program as it currently exists. I did participate in the LA County trustee meeting, and I believe Mr. Lopez was approved as a member of the screening committee there for reviewing of members, so congratulations. I too wanted to attend the Lucerna High School Dia de los Muertos event, but I was off celebrating my 32nd wedding anniversary, so I had to kind of pick and choose. It was close. And then obviously had to watch games 6 and 7 of the Dodger games and then celebrate that. I immensely enjoyed my visit to Pioneer High School. That was, as always, incredibly inspiring. Looking forward to visiting. I think I've got Whittier High School coming up. I don't think I'll get to Santa Fe or Lucerna until next semester. I promise not to be too disruptive, but I will ask a lot of questions. I attended a Democratic Party Foundation event, and they ended up honoring one of our community members, Margie Rodriguez, as a Woman of the Year. So that was a lot of fun to see her get recognized. I am looking forward to going to the Frontier High School Zoot Suit play. I'm only sad I missed Cal High's version, so I'm looking forward to seeing you all then. And obviously to the CSBA conference in a few weeks. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez-Moisa, for your report. I'd just like to briefly report to the board and to the community. I was able to attend the State of the City for Santa Fe Springs event. Also the Veterans Lunch sponsored by Assemblywoman Blanca Pacheco, hosted in the city of Santa Fe Springs. And at that veterans event, which by the way, I'd like to just extend a big thank you to any veterans that are in the audience, veterans who have served our community over the decades. Thank you for your service. It's not too late to say that. And there was one veteran in particular that was honored at Assemblywoman Pacheco's luncheon that I wanted to call out and uplift and encourage. Andre Michael Delgado. He was honored as one of the Veterans of the Year. He happens to be a Cal High graduate, class of 2011, and he's a resident of Whittier. So I was actually at the table with him and his family, and I asked him, what did I do to be at your VIP table? I just happened to stumble there, and it was just a privilege to share that table space with Andre and his family. I also want to acknowledge Carolina Reyes, Santa Fe High School alum who sang the national anthem and did such an amazing job. It was such a heartfelt, moving rendition. And Principal Campbell was there. He can attest to how moving that was. And I just wanted to congratulate her for being chosen as the singer of our national anthem, representing our Santa Fe High School community very proudly. Also attended the fall play at Whittier High School called Clue. A lot of fun. Looking forward to the Zoot Suit play coming up on December 11th. And so overjoyed to join my colleagues and Dr. Oviedo and cabinet and district leadership and teachers over at the Performing Arts Center groundbreaking, which was just held a couple of yards away. Looking forward to seeing that building in the next couple of years. What a jewel that will be for the South Whittier community and for our entire district. Fifth, I want to thank the LCAP Advisory Committee. I did read in the board report, the board weekly update that Dr. Oviedo distributes, that they are prioritizing EL, English language learners and males, which is a top priority for our board to a T. So thank you so much for your attention to their results and their student success outcomes. And then I did want to recognize Mr. Grant Eakins, who I believe has worked 25 years for our district. I really appreciate Dr. Oviedo's very thorough, heartfelt summary of not only what he's meant to the district, but his life and his travels and his long marriage to his wife, Marie. and just the extent to which he made people feel comfortable and safe here as a member of the team. And what if there's no objection from my colleagues, I'd like to adjourn our open session later tonight in his memory. And then that way, Olga can send the copy of the minutes over to his wife as just a memento of how much he has meant to this district, and the gift that he keeps on giving to us. And that brings me to Mr. Mendez and Ms. Conchola. I just want to send a heartfelt healing to you, complete recovery for both of you, so that you can get back up here on the dais in December, or at a later date in case of Ms. Conchola, if it's after December 15th. And Ms. Conchola, you said something that I wanted to just offer my reflection on as I close my board report. And you talked about using your suffering to help others so that they can get checks and they can make appointments. And you spoke about it as a harsh reminder. And it reminded me what an offering and gift that is. And if all of us could just use our suffering to help others. And there is a saying that a priest once shared with me, Father Stan Fortuna, that if we suffer, don't waste it. It's got to be meaningful for someone, whether it's for someone's soul, whether it's for someone else to learn from our journey. And so I really appreciate that reminder that is harshly earned, and it looks like you're handling it with grace. So thank you for being here with us tonight. And that concludes my board report. So with that, I will pivot over to Dr. Oviedo for 11.01, her superintendent's report, district events update, and Williams Quarter.
Thank you. So first I want to thank all of our band and spirit advisors on a wonderful jamboree that took place on November 3. The musicality of each of our bands is a testament to our students' hard work and the addition of instrumental coaches made possible by our Prop 28 monies. Last Wednesday, I did have the opportunity to attend Lucerna's Day of the Dead celebration, and it was fabulous. I believe this is the third year, and every year it gets even better. And we even had our own students that were performing their indigenous with their family, and so that was wonderful to see. And Mr. Lopez was there as well. Also on Wednesday of last week, we hosted our second annual Native American Cultural Celebration, coordinated by our Educational Services team. You might notice that Mrs. Bozigian is not here tonight. She was under the weather, and so we have some other folks continue for her. But she and Ms. Jones were coordinated that event in partnership with Victor and Mary Chavez, with Mr. Chavez, who served as our event director. More than 30 dancers and drummers from throughout Southern California educated our students and staff on their regalia, customs, and songs. In attendance were more than 250 students representing all 6 Whittier Union sites, as well as students from Edwards Middle School, where the Chavez's granddaughter attends, and she will be a future Whittier student like her parents and grandparents. A special treat was the participation of Zachary Gallegos, a freshman at Lucerna High. With the board's permission, we would like to invite Zachary and his family to join us at our January meeting, which is our Lucerna night, to receive an award of appreciation and to assist in reading our land acknowledgement statement.
That would be awesome.
On Thursday, November 13, we successfully sold our third series of Measure AA bonds. The bonds received a strong AA1 credit rating from Moody's, reflecting the district's healthy finances, experienced management, and our growing local economy. Although the district planned a $45.9 million issuance, high demand led to $134.7 million in orders, resulting in an excellent true interest cost of 3.94%. That represents a savings over what we talked to the board about. Regents Chet Wang and bond counsel Nick Huer will attend our December 9 meeting to provide a more detailed summary of the sale. Congratulations to Lucerna and Pioneer football on their victories last week. Both advanced to the semifinals this Friday against Rio Hondo Prep for Lucerna High School and Anaheim for Pioneer High School. Both teams will be on the road. I will also want to congratulate Lucerna girls flag football on a great season. Despite being the 32nd seed in their division, they delivered 2 major upsets to get into the CIF finals in only their 2nd season. Although they fell short against Eleanor Roosevelt High 14-12, I am very proud of them and their coach and Lucerna alum Dylan Long. Last week, the California dashboard was released and Whittier Union has much to celebrate. We achieved a green performance level in English, math, science, graduation rate, college and career indicator, and suspension. The dashboard also validates our previously identified area of focus to improve our outcomes for our English learners with yellow on the English learner proficiency indicator. There is a lot to be proud of in these results. Of the 419 school districts that serve high school students in California, only 63 have results that are good or better than ours. That puts us in the top 15% statewide. When you consider our largest, I want to tell you, one of the school districts, I believe, remind me, it was like Saratoga was in that group, if I recollect, right? It was a school district that's basic aid, does not have the same demographics as us. But when you look at student subgroups, we are in the top 4% of districts for socioeconomically disadvantaged students and the top 1% of districts for Hispanic Latino students. So lots to celebrate. We'll be providing more information for you in future updates, and kudos to all of our schools and their hard work, and thank you to Mr. Liggett for helping me to prepare. As we gear up for the holidays, I want to invite the board to attend several key community events, including the Santa Fe Springs Christmas tree lighting on December 6th, Whittier Alumni Association Sing-Along on December 7, our annual District Choral Festival on December 11, and the Whittier Christmas Parade on Saturday, December 13. We'll provide additional details for each of these in the upcoming weeks. And I do want to let you know that due to student participation rates, Zoot Suit at Frontier has been canceled. Not enough students were interested in that, but they are hoping for a spring event. So I wanted to let you know that. Finally, a reminder that our schools will be closed next week in observance of the Thanksgiving holidays, which makes this the perfect time to share my gratitude to all of our Whittier Union staff for their tireless work with our students and families. For our students and families for their trust in our schools, and our Board of Trustees for their commitment to our community and their trust and confidence in my leadership. And I do want to share with you, you have some treats that are from our students. The chocolate pretzels are from our adult transition micro business known as Sweet Transitions, and then the sucker and the photo is from our student chamber students. So those are for you. And this does conclude my report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Leo. And I can't speak for Mr. Lopez and Mr. Mendez, but I was getting ready to start volunteering myself as a pachuco for the ensemble. I don't know if Mr. Lopez and Mr. Mendez have zoot suits in their closets.
A couple.
Very good. So that brings us to item 12.01, our consent calendar. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Lopez. Is there a second?
Second.
Very much. Thank you very much. It's been seconded by Ms. Controla. Any discussion? No discussion on the consent calendar. I forgot. And I'm imagining that given that there's been a motion, I'm assuming that the board does not want to pull the item. Is that correct?
I do.
Oh, okay, sure. Let's go ahead and note which items you'd like to
Yeah.
pull.
12.03.
12.03. Got it.
12.08.
12.08. Got it. Thank you, Mr. Lopez, for clarifying.
Got it. Thank you.
Colleagues, anyone else have any items they'd like to pull? Okay, so I will amend my motion, or I will amend the motion on the table. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar minus items 12.03 and 12.08?
So moved.
Thank you. Mr. Mendez is.
Second.
And Ms. Controla has seconded. Okay, so I call the question. We'll do a roll call. All in favor of approving the consent calendar except for 12.03, 12.08? Please, Madam Secretary, if you do roll call.
Trustee Mendez.
Aye.
Trustee Canchola.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Trustee Rodriguez Moisa.
Yes?
Trustee Castaneda Calleros.
Aye. Sounds like the ayes have it, 5-0. Thank you very much. And let's take up 12.03 first. Mr. Lopez, would you
Yes.
like to discuss?
Thank you. I want to talk about specific contract for ARC document solutions, and do have questions for staff, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Dr. Oviedo, note that there are questions about ARC.
That's only,
That's your first question?
that's the only item.
Only that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Rodriguez Moisa?
I wasn't going to pull this item because I spoke with Dr. Oviedo beforehand, but I do want to comment, since it was pulled, that I really, really am so proud of the fact that we are having contracting with some incredible individuals who I think will inspire our students and our staff, that being Mr. Alejandro Jimenez, Mr. Felix Bobo, and I was just very curious as to who they were and what they speak to, and I was informed about it. What makes us so proud, I think, as board members, is that one of our primary jobs is to provide services and resources to our students and to our staff to grow and learn. And as I understand about these individuals and what they're going to contribute, it's going to be incredible. So there are times that I wish we could do this more often to really recognize some of those programs. And also, I forgot also Rafa the Great, who I think is also going to be phenomenal. So thank you, Mr. Lopez, for pulling the item, so I could make a comment to say thank you for all of that you all do to ensure that our students are getting those kind of resources and motivational access to these motivational speakers. And I'll let you ask your questions about the
Yes.
ARC document solutions.
Well, I want to echo those comments. Thank you, and I want to thank those that raised their hand and said yes. Let's be a motivation speaker for our Whittier Union High School District students. So, for ARC document, I understand it's for the Wall of Fame.
Hall of Champions.
Oh, Hall of Champions.
At
Excuse me.
Whittier High School.
And it's 31,000 to, what are they gonna do?
Mr. Jamero?
Yes, as you may recall, we brought a notice of completion to the Board of Trustees, I believe a month or so ago, I can't remember when exactly. We had a large project at Whittier High School in the Hall of Champions, a renovation to that facility adjacent to the gym. Part of that was installation of flooring, new paint, redoing the walls, their removal of some storage cages that were in that facility, really trying to clean up that whole area. Part of that was Whittier High School said that they would take on the graphics. So if you recall the large fundraiser event at Whittier High School, their Back to the Future night, that was with the intention to raise funds to redo graphics in the Hall of Champions, custom graphics that they had designed. So this contract is in reference to large-scale format graphics for that long span. And if you've been in the Hall of Champions, it's a pretty large, long hallway that's adjacent to the gymnasium. So we look forward to seeing it.
Follow up, Mr. Chamorro, is this for banners?
Not banners, not
No.
banners. So wall graphics, vinyl wall graphics. So you'll see it like
Wrapping.
wrapping and or paint on the wall. So this is the actual walls.
If you've been in either of our stadiums inside of our weight rooms, you'll see those very high-end permanent vinyl wrapping of the walls.
Okay. I see.
That's what it is.
Okay, thank you. I'm just trying to distinguish here between what's our role as a district versus the organization, right? Alumni, right? Association. Just trying to
I
distinguish
think that's a
what
great
they're.
question,
Mhm.
and Mr. Jamero can give you a good
Sure.
answer.
Sure, kind of the beginning of this project, this was a project that was brought to us from Whittier High School, asking to prioritize this particular area. This was not one that was on our immediate radar for the timing in which it took place. Part of the continued efforts to market Whittier High School and the facility upgrades there, and there are numerous. We took that on for them kind of with the agreement, like, okay, we have some funds, local funds that we can invest in taking on this additional project, but those funds will only go so far. So kind of enter in a conversation with Whittier High School on that. The scope, and we talk about it all the time, we kind of laugh with Mr. Rodriguez about scope creep, where the initial idea turns into a bigger idea. And throughout the conversation with the school site, I kind of agreed on what our scope would be and where their scope would begin. And this is not, there weren't traditional graphics in that hallway, so this is in addition to the work. So add-ons typically we leave with the site.
So we did lighting, floors, painting were all our responsibility in that particular area. And then graphics, extra, the pretty things,
Right.
that would be above and beyond your standard, were paid for by either school discretionary funds, but in this case, the Alumni Association.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Sure, good questions, thank you. Okay, any other questions on 12.03? If not, I'll call the question. Roll call, please.
Trustee Mendez?
Aye.
Trustee Canchola? Trustee Canchola?
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Lopez?
Aye.
Trustee Rodriguez Moisa?
Yes.
Trustee Castaneda Calleros?
Aye. Thank you, the ayes have it, 5-0. That brings us to item 12.08.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
Item C, $416,000 donation from the Renee Butcher Trust, I believe. And I just want to know what
That's
we're doing with that.
That's great. And Mr. Jamero,
What we're
would you
doing
share a
with it.
little bit about that?
Well,
Almost $500,000.
the initiation of this is still a bit of a mystery. So we received notice from an attorney's firm just a couple of months ago that they were working to distribute the proceeds from this trust, the Renee Butcher Trust, who had 4 major recipients named. 3 of them were related to animals, so local zoos, the Parrot Sanctuary, San Diego Wildlife, and the Whittier Union High School District. And so 25% of the remaining proceeds, once the trust was resolved, would be received by the Whittier Union High School District. I've reached out to the attorney's firm asking for additional information related to who Ms. Butcher was, and they have not responded yet. So it's a bit of a mystery benefactor. So I don't know, a bit of a mystery still at this point. But we are continuing to search for this. The only stipulation on the donation was for non-administrative costs.
So it's open.
We do know that they are a Whittier alum. Thank you, Mr. Liggett, for sharing that. And as far as how we will spend those monies, we have not had any decisions yet. We will be working with the committee to look at what we do know. What we cannot spend money on is administrative costs. And so we will look at ways that we can find out more about Ms. Butcher, and then also be able to start to identify a committee of folks to help work on how we will support students.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I call the question. Roll call, please.
Trustee Mendez?
Oh, you need a motion.
Oh, my bad.
Excuse me, I do. I need a motion to approve
Motion to
item.
consider approval to accept gifts to the district.
Yes, yes. So it hasn't been seconded.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Lopez and seconded by Ms. Rodriguez-Moisa. Thank you for your catch. To approve 12.08C. Now I can call the question via roll call.
Trustee Mendez?
Aye.
Trustee Lopez?
Aye.
Trustee Canchola?
Aye.
Trustee Rodriguez Moisa?
Yes.
Trustee Castaneda Calleros?
Aye. Thank you. And that brings us to item 13, new business. And our first item is 13.01 as we consider approval of amendments to WUHSD administrative contracts.
No, I'm sorry, we are in
Return.
proposals and
Oh,
discussions.
excuse me, proposals and discussions. Thank you. And so I appreciate that correction.
Sorry about
No, it was my bad. My oversight. So 13.01 is review and discuss proposed basic and supplemental textbooks, first reading.
that. Thank you. And to share more information contributing for Mrs. Bozigian is Mr. Liggett.
Good evening, thank you, Dr. Oviedo. So tonight, we are bringing to you for your review, for your first read, a total of 21 basic and supplemental textbooks. All books have been reviewed and recommended for adoption by the appropriate subject area curriculum improvement teams. There are a total of 7 English novels, 10 English language development textbooks, 2 social science supplemental books, and 2 textbooks to support our special education curriculum. After any questions regarding the textbooks and supplements, we would ask for these books to be placed on consent at the December 9th board meeting.
Very good. Well, if no opposition from the board, then so it shall be done. We'll look forward to that in December. Thank you, Mr. Leggett. And that brings us to item 13.02, review and discuss revisions to board bylaws 9000s. And this is our first reading, and I believe we have a chart in front of us of all the 9,000 bylaws, correct? So board, this was one of the results of our board bylaws subcommittee that Mr. Mendez and myself, Dr. Oviedo, have been working on for off and on this year. And we wanted to bring these to you so that way we can get our first reading with the hope that we can bring them back to the board at the next meeting. This is a chance for you to review and see if you have any questions about any of these.
I'll go ahead and start if that's okay. I have a couple of comments, I guess, and questions. The first one is Board Policy 9124.
Yes.
And I believe that deals with legal counsel. Let me just double check.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So there's a proposed change, and I guess it's page 19, and I very much appreciate, by the way, the incredible hard work that this took, because this is work that has to get done and many times feels thankless, but we will be so grateful, particularly when these issues pop up.
Mm-hmm.
And I also appreciate the formatting in which this was done. So my question is, or my concern, at least on this particular policy, until I move to the next one, is on page 19, and it's talking about retaining legal counsel, and you've added, or someone has added a sentence, quote, evaluations of the firm shall be completed at least 90 days in advance of the end of the contract. My concern with adding that sentence is twofold. One is, if we don't do this, what are the potential repercussions? So I'm worried about placing a sentence in here that affirmatively obligates us to do something that we may end up not doing due to the passage of time or whatever reason. The second reason I'm not in support of this particular sentence until I hear what the explanation is that our board counsel, all of our legal counsel are at will and serve at our pleasure. And the contracts that we execute with them basically say we can terminate our contracts with them upon 30 days notice, or obviously we just stop using them. And so I worry that by adding this sentence in here, we're creating an additional legal obligation for ourselves. And so that's of concern to me, and I would request that that proposed new sentence be deleted. I don't know if that's how you do a first reading, but that's my,
Okay.
yeah.
And I appreciate that. So I think at this time, before we go on to another question, I know you have a couple of questions, I think we should probably speak to those two concerns that are related, right?
Yes.
So, and I'm gonna open up the floor. I know Mr. Mendez, you're on the call as well, and Dr. Oviedo, you as well. Do you recall the thought process we had when we agreed to put that language there in terms of giving ourselves that 90-day structure to do an evaluation of legal counsel, and can you address Trustee Rodriguez-Moise's concern in terms of how it's been brought up?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if whether that was a CSBA because obviously it wasn't a Whittier Union policy, but would it satisfy Irma if it was permissive?
Well, it partly, but it's also superfluous, because if you look at the first sentence of that paragraph, it already says, the board and superintendent shall periodically evaluate the performance of the firm and/or attorneys, the efficiency and adequacy of advice, the results obtained for the district, the reasonableness of fees, and the responsiveness to in interactions with the board, administration, and community. So I feel like that sentence is unnecessary and creates a little bit more confusion about what's really expected. Because I think the first part of that already covers it. So that's really one of my concerns is, are we adding something to ourselves
That ties our hands.
that potentially ties our hands when we don't do it, or when we don't do it in a formalized way, or, that's what concerns me about that sentence.
It sounds out of place. It's just dangling there, so I would agree.
My only thing to add was that this is a new policy for Whittier Union. We didn't have an original policy, and that sentence is not part of the original CSBA sample.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Ms. Conchola, did you want to weigh in? I saw your tile pop up.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lopez, did you have any questions? No? Okay.
So that's a move to strike and modify and bring back the language for the second reading?
Yeah, I don't think it requires a motion, but we are duly noting these in our copious notes, so that way we can make sure to bring back the edited version for our next reading in December.
Yeah, no motion necessary.
Correct. I think you had a second.
I have a question about a few more. So this next one is really just a question, and I think maybe if it's required by law, it is. Board Policy 9220 talks about what happens when there's a tie in an election. And the recommendation appears to be that basically we tell the two candidates that have tied, come on in and we'll pull from lot one of your names. And then the other option that was rejected is a special election, which I certainly can understand why we wouldn't want to do a special election, because that would be very costly. So did we choose that it should be done by lot because that's what the Ed Code requires? Or just so that I know, because the other way to do it, of course, is flipping it. I'm kidding. But I mean, is that what the Ed Code requires?
I think we were driven by being cost conscious, but Mr. Mendez and Dr. Oviedo, do you agree?
I think we had two choices,
Mhm.
and you chose that one versus the other, and I'm just looking
The
to
other one was
see-
a special election.
Yes, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna look
Just
really
what to
quick
expect.
in our current Whittier Union 9220 to see if we were just carrying over the option.
It does have a reference to the Ed Code, by the way.
Yes, our current policy and the Ed Code citation in our current policy is that the board shall determine the winner by lot and Ed Code 5016.
Okay. That was my question, because I thought, wow, that was my reaction. Okay. My next question is on Board Policy 9224.
Okay.
This one I think is a typo, so I would just ask that we just double check. I did not have a chance to double check. In 9224, if you go to that one,
Mhm.
in green, we added a sentence, oaths may be administered ceremoniously by a person of the trustee's preference, but must be certified in accordance with Education Code 60. I wonder if that should be or if it's Government Code 1360. I just wasn't sure because the references above in terms of who administers the oath has a different sort of reference. So it may or may not be a typo, but I just wanted to confirm I did not get an opportunity to review.
It is accurate. Ed Code 60 allows the superintendent of public instruction, school trustees, and other officers to administer and certify oaths.
I'll read that again.
Ed Code 60 allows the superintendent of public instruction, school trustees, and other officers to administer and certify oaths related to public schools.
Thank you.
It's in the footnotes.
Yes, so it is accurate as is.
Is it perfect? Okay. And again, it was only because I saw 1360 and then I saw 60.
Mhm.
My next question is on board policy 9250.
Okay.
And this one deals with remuneration, reimbursement, and other benefits. If you go to this, I got two comments on this one. It's on page 47. There's the green that says, when a board member has received board approval to attend a conference or to incur travel expenses. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. So the third sentence it's added is, in order to receive reimbursement for conferences, a board member must submit a completed conference summary report. Now, I've attended conferences, I've come back and reported what sessions I attended, etc., but I have never filled out a document or a summary or prepared a memo.
Send it to you tomorrow.
Okay, and so is there a form, and obviously this is new language, but can I get some explanation on that?
So that is a practice for all Whittier Union employees. There is a summary report. It is in our current policy and was rolled over into the new policy. And that's just administratively, we need to tighten up that policy.
Okay, well, so then I have violated the policy because I have never completed a conference summary.
Well, we didn't hold you accountable.
Okay, thank God. That was, CSBA was the last one, okay.
Yes, Mr.
Chair,
Lopez, you want to chime?
what these comments or the summary, can we substitute that? I mean, can we maybe add something where, you know, we kind of talk about it on the dais as well? Could that,
An oral report.
on oral report from the dais?
I think that's agreeable to me. Does anyone else want to weigh in on whether it'd be good to have an option to do orally or in writing?
So it must submit a completed conference summary report or present an oral report at the next regularly scheduled board meeting?
I would agree, because that's been our practice.
Right.
And that's a simple language fix right there. I appreciate that, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you.
My next comment is on the same page, 47, but also, I think it's page 48. And I don't know, there's no ed code reference here, but it provides that when a trustee has served 12 years or more on the board, upon vacating their seat, the former member is eligible for district-paid health and welfare benefits for the number of years equal to the number of years he or she served on the board. The benefit package would be the same benefit package offered to active classified employees and would be subject to change each year if the benefit package for active employees is changed. And then that same language applies on page 48. I am very concerned about this policy. Serving on a board is not a retiree plan. And obviously we are very, blessed to be able to participate in the district's health insurance plan. So I would not be in support of this addition, that paragraph.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Mendez.
if I could say, that looks very old language, because in 98, the state passed a law that says that benefit is no longer available for those who served previous or served after 1998. So I don't know if that came from CSBA or that was our old language, but that law overrode that, and that should be stricken out because of the law.
Yep. Sounds antiquated. Can we ask her the question if it came from CSBA?
Yeah, I want to do a further dive into the ed code. There, in the next section, it does talk about former board members, and I see the reference to those whose service commenced on or after January 1, 1995. And it is in green, which means that it's an addition. So I do want to take a look at that and look at that with legal counsel.
Thank you.
And then we can send some communication out to the board.
Thank you. And if it, yes, Mr. Lopez. And if it suffices for now, Ms. Rodriguez-Moiza, I think you're not alone in your concern about 9250 and that language, so we appreciate you bringing that up.
And
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Lopez.
There's a bill that just passed and signed by the governor about for compensation, about increasing. I don't know if it's a good time to, look into that as well. So I just ask that maybe if we can embed that in there or
Yes.
whatnot.
And I'll just repeat that. Dr. Oviedo, Mr. Lopez brought up the bill that was just passed that gives boards the, not that they have to, but that gives boards the opportunity to look at their, the amount of the monthly stipend.
Yes.
And so this could be a good chance to revisit that new law to see if there's any language in the new law that could correspond and be included in this policy that we're revising.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I forgot the bill number, but I'm aware of that law.
Thank you.
Ms. Rodriguez might say yes.
I think just two more minor comments. Well, actually, one comment generally. This is great for me to read. This is what the board meetings are,
Yes.
how many votes and all that is fabulous. But there is one, 9324, that talks about the board shall consider adoption of this policy at the November meeting. And I don't know if that's supposed to be in there, or that was just like a note for somebody internally to say it should be considered at this November 2025 meeting. This is on page 108. Page 108.
Second to the last page.
Is it in yellow?
It's in green, right below the yellow highlight. It just says the board shall consider adoption of this policy at the November meeting. And I wasn't sure if this was like an internal note or something that should actually be read into, is actually part of the new board policy.
I think that was a no.
A note, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then last but not least, because I couldn't find it, at our last meeting, Mr. Lopez had made, and maybe it's in one of the ones we approved, had made a request or a suggested change about officers of the board sort of rotating through. I forget which policy it is, but this one had actually, we left a blank as to if there's a maximum number of years of consecutive service as an officer. And so I just, when I wrote my notes, I think I was rushing out of the office, so let me see if I can find that
It's
one.
9100, page 12.
Page 12, thank you so much. Because I wasn't sure if it captured
Yeah,
his change that he had not commented on, and then it had a blank.
Yes.
So
I remember saying past practice and such. And I don't know if that would change.
see, that's where I can't find it here. This one doesn't have the blank with how many consecutive, it's not
So I think our
91.
homework was to go back and see what our current board policy had, or what CSBA had, right?
No, I recall that he gave a suggestion
Okay.
that we should rotate the officer positions per past practice. And my recollection is we all, those of us who were there, Mr. Mendez wasn't there, reached that consensus that we thought that was a good change.
What's the
I think we're
policy?
gonna entertain that
93,
policy
24.
later.
Is that a separate one? That's not one of
Yeah.
these, right?
No, it is, but I think we're gonna entertain that later in the meeting.
Okay, okay, because that's why
Yeah.
that was my last comment, is I couldn't find that one.
Yeah.
And I recall,
Because it's on new business.
and then, is that the one that
Yeah,
also
new
has the
business.
blank about how many maximum? Okay, perfect,
Okay,
that's a new one, thank you so
it's-
much.
It's 14.02.
Thank you. So that concludes my
That's it.
questions. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez, please. Okay. Just want to report to the public, Ms. Conchola is not feeling well, so hence she's unable to participate any further. So thank you very much for that note, Ms. Cedillo. Any other comments on the 9,000s, first reading?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Lopez. You have the
A
floor.
few of them. One, I think, was covered by Trustee Rodriguez Moisa, and it says that the board, 9100, no board, no board member shall serve more than whatever
Mhm.
years we decide, right?
Mhm.
Okay. 9110. There's the word about term limits.
Uh-huh.
So if we can get to that.
Sure.
Just, to me, it was confusing. Is there term limits? Oh, there's no term limits. But the word term limits is in it. So I just wanted to maybe clarify that there are no term limits for the trustees on that, that's all.
Mr. Lopez, where does it say term limits? I apologize.
Term of office,
So that is
This is
new.
9110, right?
yeah,
The term of office
hold on.
shall be
Let's see.
4 years.
See, see on the first page, her terms shall be staggered, nearly as practical, and then, what else? Shall be 4 years, but I'm just, I guess my question is, can we just clarify there are no term limits?
We could, because it's my understanding that we don't have term limits currently, and we haven't for as long as I can remember.
See, the board members whose terms have expired shall continue to discharge the duty. See, the word expired.
But yeah, but until their successors have qualified by taking the oath of office. Does anybody here know how a school district could impose term limits even if it wanted to?
There's a process. I believe I've shared that in a weekly update, at the request. Mr. Lopez, does that sound familiar? So the board can vote on if they want to proceed in that direction, and then it goes before a community-wide vote.
Okay. So without a community-wide vote, the default is there's no term limit.
So we just leave it as is?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. And then, yes,
Please.
there are more, there are a lot of, let me see here. A lot of them that don't have we didn't change or recommended change from governing board to board of trustees. For example, 9122, 9123, 91, there's many of them. You
There'll
can
be a
just look at them.
global revision by CSBA to every one of those to reflect board of trustees.
Okay,
We talked about the importance of being consistent with that.
yeah. And then,
And just to make you aware that if when you run for re-election, the county only recognizes governing board member, by the way, FYI.
thank you. And then finally, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
I know it's a hot item here, 9324, record keeping.
Mhm.
So just want to revisit that and see if you all are okay, maybe amending the sort of like the statute of limitations of 30 days and beyond, of keeping the recordings, and I don't know what the standard is, if we keep the recordings more than, 6 months, but I just want to have, have someone look at maybe what other districts are doing.
Mhm.
Those are my comments, Mr. Chair.
If I might respond to that one?
Mhm.
I recall us having a discussion about this one a while back. I would say that in terms of what we bring back in December for approval, that 9324 be pulled so that we can have that information that Mr. Lopez has requested, because I'd like that information as well.
Mhm.
What is the standard? Why is it written this way? What do other districts do? So that we can make an informed decision about if we want to change it. But that would be my request, is that we set 9324 aside for further discussion for that information.
Happy to do so. I will say that, as you can see, this policy is CSBA adoption in its entirety.
Okay,
So
thank you.
my guess is that, my educated guess would be that this is
Okay.
the standard for school districts.
In addition to that, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Maybe the cost of recording, video recordings via Zoom as well. Thank you.
So that does make sense to have that pulled because there is some research that we want to do, and I think it's good research. And I
Thank
think
you.
it helps us to be informed about how we want to proceed and what the consensus is at the time that we.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mhm. Okay, any other, okay. All right. Mr. Mendez, any other closing comments about the 9,000s?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. And then at some point, I'm just noting this, it might be good to circle back with trustee Controlla just to see if she has any questions about the 9,000s at a time that works for her. And we've taken really good notes about things to tighten up and things to research for the next time so that we can approve 99.9% of the 9,000s at the December meeting, except for possibly 9324 people. That brings us to item 14.01, new business. As we consider approval of resolution number 2526-18 for compensation, is there a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll move to approve it.
Second?
Very good. It's been moved by trustee Rodriguez-Moisa and seconded by Mr. Lopez. Any discussion? Seeing none, call the question. Roll call, please.
Trustee Mendez,
I think I'm gonna have to abstain on that, right?
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
Trustee Lopez,
Aye.
Trustee Castaneda Gallegos,
Aye.
Trustee Rodriguez Moisa.
Yes.
Okay. The ayes have it, 3-0-0 with one abstention and one absence. Okay, that brings us to item 14.02. We talked about this a little earlier as we consider approval of revisions to board policy 9100, Board of Trustees Organization, first reading.
Second.
So, any comments on this one? It's
This is.
oh, it's final reading, excuse me.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for noting my misreading. Final reading.
Yeah, so this is the one where I thought we did not include what I thought was consensus language from last time. I don't know that we called it past practice, or we just said basically people are gonna rotate through. Because there was an option to, I see your hand raised.
I think I forgot to revise it. I think that line that is at the bottom under option 2 is supposed to read, the board shall, let me just see. The board shall rotate trustees through each of the 3 offices unless a trustee who is about to assume a leadership role withdraws. That's what it should have stated.
We did reach consensus on
My
that.
apologies.
We did.
Okay. So that edit is accepted and is what the original intent of the consensus was in October.
So can we approve it via a motion here to say we would move to amend this policy to add?
Mr. Gallagher, yes, I got a thumbs up from Mr. Gallagher that we can go
Let me
ahead
read the
and
sentence so I can
make
the
that motion.
I'll make
I'll
the
second.
motion. Let me make it so that it's clear for the record.
Shall.
Yeah.
So delete what's currently in the document that says no board member shall serve more than blank consecutive years in the same office, and instead replace it with the board shall rotate trustees through each of the 3 offices unless a trustee who is about to assume a leadership role withdraws.
Second? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. It's been moved to delete the language that has the blank consecutive years in the same office and to add the language that says the board shall rotate through 3 executive officer positions unless one of them withdraws. And then it's been seconded by Mr. Lopez. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So you want that to read as prescribed with the shall as opposed to permissive with may?
That's a good question.
That's what we discussed last time, though. I think we felt out of fairness that had been our past practice, and that's what that's from the discussion from last time, was that we did want it to be a shall versus permissive.
Because like what happened recently is that a board officer decided to be skipped. And so the shall, we'd have to vote to,
Right, but we wrote
There's an unless phrase there. Mr.
Unless a
Mendez.
trustee who is about to assume a leadership role withdraws.
Okay,
So with that phrase, I think that gets to your concern, Mr. Mendez, and that,
yeah, that satisfies that.
yeah, okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, I call the question via roll call. Oh, did you have your hand up, sir?
Okay, so it's only one item, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Trustee Mendez,
Aye.
trustee Lopez,
Aye.
trustee Rodriguez Moisa,
Yes.
trustee Castaneda-Calleros.
Aye. The ayes have it 4-0 with one absence, 4-0-1. Thank you very much, Board. Now that brings us to item 14.03 as we consider approval of revisions to Board Policy 9310. This is our final reading after incorporating the edits that were requested last month. Is there a motion?
So
moved.
Second?
Moved by trustee Mendez, and seconded by Ms. Rodriguez Moisa. Thank you. Now that it's been moved and seconded, we can have a discussion if needed. Any comments on 9310?
Mr. Chair, if I could say,
Yes, please.
sausage making isn't always sexy, but I'm very proud of this product.
Agreed. Okay. Yes, Mr. Lopez.
Congratulations to all of us, all of us, and of course, to all the groups that are going to be involved in this decision making. Congratulations to you all, and I look forward to reading all the policies, the recommended policies. At the end of the day, yes, we're going to vote on them, but I like to. I'm looking forward to see the great work you all do. So thank you.
I
Thank
did
you.
have one clarifying question.
Mhm.
What did we decide? Constituent group?
Stakeholders.
Stakeholders, okay, thank you. Because that still has the potential word choice as opposed to the final word.
The corrections were made for the CSBA with our facilitator from CSBA, so they are in the Gamut webpage. I just neglected to print a hard copy for you.
But this one still says.
I know, so they're correct on the website that we use to make all the revisions.
Oh, okay, but not in the attachment.
But I didn't print you the new copy to give to Olga.
So Brown Act question. Since the document that was part of our agenda does not match what we are approving, do we need to bring this back in December?
So
That
As
is
long as it was
question.
posted.
a thought is that we could put all of the policies, these two along with the other 9,000s, into consent and then just approve them as such.
I'm just saying, there was the wrong policy that was attached, Mr. Mendez.
Wrong version.
I'm sorry,
Wrong version.
the wrong version, not the latest that updated stakeholders, because this one has make choice, potential word choice.
So
And we
to-
chose stakeholders.
So to address Ms. Rodriguez Moisa's question, Mr. Gallagher, can you weigh in on what our options are at this point?
So I think you're okay under the Brown Act if you amend it here tonight. What I don't know, as I stand here, is whether there's a problem with it being the final reading of it. I
So
think-
maybe to be safe, we bring it back for approval with the final version in consent in the December meeting?
Yeah, I was gonna
That'd be
say.
safe.
Or you can adopt a tentative, adopt it subject to that, but to be safe, do it that way, and that way you know it's done in December. You're covered, you don't have to wait a month.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to recommend that we adopt it tentatively.
Tentative adoption?
Yeah.
I would greatly appreciate it and walk away in silence if you do so.
Yeah. But I do
Wait a
have
minute, let me think
Yes,
about
Mr.
I
that.
do have a question for trustee Rodriguez Mosa. Are you okay with stakeholders? I wasn't really clear about that.
Well, I couldn't remember which phrase we did pick a phrase last time.
Yeah, but you
And
were not.
Dr. Oviedo says it was stakeholders, but this document was not
Still says
updated
make
to
choice.
reflect that.
Because it's the wrong version.
I am fine with conditional approval, subject to final approval on consent in December. Just with the updated one because it,
That's the only change,
Yeah.
is that word,
Yeah.
stakeholders.
but it is a change.
Okay.
Is it a substantive change?
I think what you can do, I think conditionally approving it subject to it being
Change.
approved a month later on the consent is a fine approach. I think you could also approve it subject to council review, and should further action be necessary, we'll bring it back to the board and have it done.
Okay.
So I think you could adopt it tonight and recognize we'll do a review of it and something has to be fixed.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so let's clarify the motion.
Either way, we'll be on that next agenda,
It's got to
right?
be on the next agenda.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, and I think we're all on the same page. So what we're doing tonight is, I know it's been moved and seconded, the motion on the table is to conditionally approve BP 9310 tonight with the understanding that the corrections will be made to the word stakeholders, so that way the final version is the correct version in our records, and that it be approved en masse with the other board policies in December. Did I get the motion correct?
Yeah.
And I think we have consensus, so
Yes.
if there's no further comments, actually, I have a comment, very brief. I think this is aligned with our collaborative culture, and that's why I've been supportive of this from day one. I think Mr. Mendez for serving on the committee. I know we spent a lot of time on this, so thank you very much for your work. And with that, I'll call the question via roll call.
Trustee Mendez.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Trustee Rodriguez Moisa.
Yes.
Trustee Castaneda Calleros.
Aye. Okay, it passes 4-0 with one absence. Very good. Thank you all for your diligence. And that brings us to item 14.04 as we consider approval of the personnel report. Ms. Fitzgerald, good evening.
Yes. Good evening. So tonight in our personnel report, I'm pleased to share with you, we have 6 new classified employees and 4 current classified employees who are receiving promotional reclassifications, for a total of 10 people in new positions. Also want to draw your attention to some notable retirements. We have 3 CSE members that have submitted for retirement in the month of December: Billy Carter, Jose Salcido Ramirez, and then Kathy Tenerelli, who she is retiring after 24 years and 5 months with the district. So I want to wish them all in their retirement.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to move to adopt the personnel report.
It's been moved to adopt the personnel report by Mr.
Second.
Mendez. And thank you. Seconded by Mr. Lopez. Any other discussion? Thank you, Ms. Fitzgerald, for your report. I call a question via roll call.
Trustee Mendez.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Trustee Rodriguez Moisa.
Yes.
Trustee Castaneda Calleros.
Aye. Thank you. The ayes have it, 4-0, with 1 absence. And that brings us to item 15.01, miscellaneous business. That includes our board policies from the 3000s and 7000s this time. Dr. Oviedo.
So these are just for your review over the next month. They will be on first reading, and I want to thank Mr. Jamero and his entire team in the Business and Services Division for reviewing and revising these in alignment with CSBA.
I have a question.
Yes.
I looked at both of these because I figured it was informational, but there's notes at the top of a few of them, like keep CSBA, KJ, JE, keep with edits. And then I could tell one was Steve Rodriguez, SR keep. Is that the way I'm supposed to read it?
So all of that is direction, because the way that we pull out of this, the software is for our CSBA consultant.
And
So
who
that
is
they-
JE?
Jimmy Escobar. Our
Director of Fiscal Services.
Okay. I just wanted to understand the.
The process was that Mr. Javero's team, they took apart these board policies to review ours, but also, given that their constituent groups would have input on these within their individual departments. So those are the recommendations they made back to Mr. Jamero.
And let me just see on the 7,000 series one second.
7,000.
Real quick, just if I had a quick
You
question.
still have the floor.
Yeah, it says keep edits with SR. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. I think SR is the only one that had comments on that. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mendez or Mr. Lopez, any questions on the 3,000s or 7,000s at this point?
No question.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll look forward to seeing those again. And then that brings us to future topics, future board meeting topics. I'll open up the floor. Any future topics you'd like to add to the hopper?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Mendez.
Mr. Chair, it's more of a point of information that I would like to be part of that journeying in the memory of, to Mr. Roy De La Rosa, a member of our Native American Advisory Committee. That would be appropriate.
Understood. Mr. Roy De La Rosa. Thank you, Mr. Mendez. Duly noted. It's my intention to add his name to our adjournment motion. If there are no objections from the board.
No objection.
No objection.
Any other items, colleagues? Yes, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, I'm very competitive, and meaning I speak great about the athletic programs and the athletic successes we have throughout the, just conversations with others and throughout passing conversations. But I do want to have a study done about field use. I want to know if there's some equity in terms of field use with, Pioneer. How much field use does each school have to really get the job done, really? I just want to see if there's, if there's equity at Cal High, Santa Fe, all of our comprehensive high schools. I just want to see if they all have the same field use and an opportunity to practice, compete, and ultimately succeed. So,
Okay. I'm listening closely, and I just want to clarify
Sure.
on what I'm hearing. And this is not to violate the Brown Act and see how many people are interested. I'm not doing that. I'm just clarifying at this point.
that's all.
I've learned my lesson, Mr. Gallagher. So, Mr. Lopez,
Sure.
in terms of identifying equity, is there equity in the use of fields at all of our sites? Help me understand the users. Are you talking about the off-campus community users of the fields? Or are you talking about our students who are on campus using those fields? Or are you talking about both?
I'm talking about students, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
I'm talking about each team, whether it's the polo, the water polo team, whether it's the soccer team. I just want to make sure that, just want to do a study if they all have, they have all the practice facilities available for them, so.
I think it would be respectful.
Yes, Dr. Oviedo.
If we can schedule a meeting with myself and Mr. Jamero and maybe even Mr. Stewart to further unpack your requests so that we can ensure that we are able to complete that study.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yes, Ms. Rodriguez-Hueza. Thank you.
Yes, I would like to have as a future topic the continuation of our partnership with Tri-Cities ROP. I'd like to know the timeline for potentially bringing them in-house to the district, potential cost savings, the implications for faculty. And I don't know if there's a big deadline, if that could happen sooner rather than later, if there's an upcoming deadline to give notice. That would be my request.
Continuation of partnership with Tri-Cities ROP, cost savings implications.
Impact on staff, deadline to
Impact on
give
staff,
notice.
faculty. Okay, thank you very much. Duly noted. Any other items? And seeing none, that brings us to closed session, but before we go to closed session, I will adjourn open session in the following manner. tonight, we adjourn in memory of Mr. Grant Atkins. We also adjourn in memory of Mr. Roy De La Rosa. And may they rest in peace, and may they know that they are thought of with deep regard. We are adjourned into closed session. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here tonight. Have a happy Thanksgiving.